twice-monthly conversation with restaurateurs, chefs, growers, and others who have helped generate the legends associated with eateries across the Mid-South. The team at Benny Keith is proud to sponsor this adventure with the goal of preserving the stories that have helped cultivate an amazing food scene across the Mid-South. So kick back and enjoy a heaping spoonful.
Hello to all you foodies out there in podcast land. I'm Kelly Bass, and I've been ingrained in the Mid-South food scene pretty much my entire life. One of the stories I heard all my life was about the night I fell over backward in my high chair at a popular Mexican restaurant in the Heights neighborhood of Little Rock, Arkansas when I was 18 months old, but I lived to tell about it apparently. I was also blessed in the pre-Yelp, TripAdvisor, social media, blog days to have the good fortune to review restaurants for 2 local newspapers here in Little Rock. Something I did more on than off for, more than 30 years. So I love being the voice of Heaping Spoonful. Today, pretty much any discussion with my wife about our day or our travel plan starts with what, where, and when we're going to eat. So I am totally into this stuff. Today on Heaping Spoonful, it's my pleasure to visit with Rob Nelson, the owner and chef at Tusk and Trotter, an anchor restaurant on the busy square in downtown Bentonville, Arkansas. So greetings, Rob. Welcome to Heaping Spoonful.
Well, thank you very much, Kelly, for having me.
So when you decided to open Tusk and Trotter in 2011, why did you pick Bentonville? I mean, did you have a crystal ball or inside information that helped you envision how the dining scene there would heat up like it did?
Well, before Tusk and Trotter, I was the executive chef of a River Grill restaurant in Bentonville, and I'd been in and out of that kitchen for about 5 years at that point. The scene had just started to grow. We had a very ambitious and very motivated person by the name of Daniel Hintz that was running the Downtown Bentonville Initiative, DBI. And we got really close together and became really good friends. And the opportunity came about where there was a spot in downtown Bentonville, and he showed me kind of like what the master plan was with Crystal Bridges coming in and 21C Hotel. And I was like, okay, well, downtown Bentonville kind of looks like, the Germans just did their thing to it in World War II. I mean, it was just a bombed out. You had craters you had to have 4-wheel drive to get down there just to, say that. But and so the building looked great. It was right there in the square. We met up with a couple of other, interested investors who became the backbone of now Pick and Swig Hospitality Group. And now, over 8 years now, Tusk and Trotter has been there. And the scene has just grown. I mean, it was 2 restaurants on the spot downtown. And now Bentonville has over 143 different eateries to choose from.
Isn't that crazy?
It's amazing, right?
I know. And so many great restaurants have come on the scene with great fanfare, from fine dining to casual to everything in between. But I will tell you, Tusk and Trotter has maintained its spot near or at the top of the list of Bentonville restaurants. I hopped on, since we knew we were going to be talking today, to TripAdvisor and saw your very high ranking on TripAdvisor. And the first review that I saw was written by me. I guess if you get on TripAdvisor and you're logged in, they put your review
I guess they put you first, huh?
But I gave you a glowing review about 2014, I believe. It was crazy. I didn't even remember doing it, to be honest with you. And I saw that you were nominated twice as Best Restaurant in the South by Southern Living, which is quite an honor.
Yes, sir. Yes.
So what would you tell me what you think the 2 or 3 things that have helped that restaurant stay so popular for so long?
Well, I'll tell you what, the backbone of Tusk and Trotter is my staff. I mean, you surround yourself with people that are smarter than you in other things, and you let them, go and be creative. And like I said, I mean, the day-to-day operation of my staff that's doing their thing there, allows me to do other things. And I mean, they're very motivated. They get the concept, they get the brand, they wholeheartedly just jump behind us and everything that we do. And that really shows, and it goes a long way for the guest that comes in to see exactly what we're all about.
Right. And I like, because it has a casual, comfortable feel, and it's a very approachable menu, but that doesn't mean everything's not top quality. So did you really kind of focus on being approachable and something
Absolutely.
Everybody can find something?
Yes, sir. So I wanted to really showcase, what Arkansas and specifically what the Ozark Mountain region's all about. So, I mean, we try to stay within our region, most of the time that we can. And Benny Keith Foods Group really helps us with that, with their local sustainability program and all the, things that they're involved with as well. And, that really helps us to showcase, what is swimming and being raised. Sure. And, what's falling off the trees in the Ozark Mountains. I mean, we put it on the plate there. And we try to do it in a kind of a different way. We use a lot of odds and ends and different products, secondary cuts of meats, if you will. And we just try to make it into an approachable way, but also give the customer, the guest, a new experience, trying something a little bit different out of their comfort zone. Yeah. And they've really taken a hold of it, and they've really embraced us in the community, and, being the top of our game. I mean, that's just, we just strive for excellence and try to do the best that we can do every day to make sure the guest experience is at the top.
Yeah, that's super cool. And again, you got in so early, and I had not realized that you'd worked right there at River Grill for all those years before Bentonville was even what it was when you opened Tusk and Trotter. But there was a lot of stuff in between there. I know you got your political science degree at University of Arkansas, your bachelor's degree, and worked, I guess, in that restaurant while your wife was completing her master's. And then you'd been looking at culinary schools because you knew that was the career you wanted, and you went to Boulder, Colorado.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So was that a very rewarding, enriching experience? And what did you learn there that you instantly could say, well, that's one thing I'm going to take to the first restaurant that I open?
Well, we looked at many different spots for culinary school, from New York City to San Francisco. And this culinary school was a small private culinary school at the time called the Culinary School of the Rockies, and they only accepted 16 students a year there. And it was a farm-to-table. It was the only farm-to-table full 100% on local sustainable culinary school at the time. And that was just, something I was really interested in, and, learning about the farming system and the ranchers and everything. And it just felt right. And when I was there, I couldn't believe, just the culture that Boulder has and the community that they have, that they back, just the farming and the rancher and the local sustainability of that. And the restaurant that I cut my teeth in there called The Kitchen with Chef Hugo Matheson and their group, that was it. They showcased all their animals and, all their produce that they got from just 50, minutes down the road, and even had a garden on their roof, it was just, they really opened my eyes to what it could be. And then got to jump the pond right after that and go to France. And that really just, that stuck to me. They don't really have a farm-to-table movement there. That's just what they do.
They've always done, right?
That's just what they've always done. They don't know any different. The local farmer market's there. That's just on the daily. You go and you pick out what you want to eat that night, and you go and you cook it. You don't bulk up like you do at the types of, Sam's Clubs and types of things. They don't really have that there, and that's kind of a unique experience to see firsthand.
Exactly. Well, I promise I'm not following you around, but my sister-in-law lives in the suburb of Boulder, and whenever I go to the People's Republic of Boulder, I say, I can see why people like living there. And then 30 plus years ago, my sister moved to France, and I've gotten to make 2 trips to Avignon to go to the Palais de Pape, which is a Pope's palace. Not many people know, including me, that the papacy left the Vatican in Rome for almost an entire century and was in Avignon, France. And you were working at a restaurant right there by it.
I was, So, wine tastings at the Palais de Pape during the day, and then the restaurant I worked at, La Marron, was actually the Cardinals' castle that he worked at. They turned into a hotel, a bed and breakfast, and a Michelin 1-star kitchen while I was there as well.
Yeah, and I think for all of you out in podcast land, listen to Heaping Spoonful today, Michelin stars are extremely hard to come by. In fact, Rob told me before we started this broadcast that Washington, D.C. is the closest location to Little Rock, Arkansas, where there is a Michelin-starred restaurant.
Yeah, they haven't kind of made their way into the South yet, but never know.
Hey, maybe you're going to get the first one.
Oh, who knows? I had to change my accent and get all fussy.
No, that was so there you are, again, soaking up from the farm and table culinary education you got in Boulder and working in that restaurant, and then going to Avignon and continuing and studying wines. And then I guess it was time to go home?
Yes, sir. So, while I was doing my, my culinary thing, my wife was also working in Boulder, right outside in Golden, Colorado at Coors Brewing. But we also still had a place here in Northwest Arkansas. 2008 hit, the bottom fell out, couldn't sell our house. And then, we were kind of looking where we were going to go next. I'm graduated. We're done with our schooling. It's time to set up shop somewhere. Walmart corporate comes calling again and gives my wife a job that, offers her a job that she just couldn't refuse. And that brought us back to Northwest Arkansas.
Wow.
And I got back on with the restaurant River Grill that I left before and jumped right back in as sous chef, and then eventually took over the spot until, Tusk and Trotter presented itself. And 2011 on, it's been a ride, I'll tell you what.
And, as a recovering journalist, I'm into my research, and the internet certainly helps with that. And so I'm Googling you and stuff, and I see that in 2018 you took over as executive chef at Butcher and Pint. So, and then in our other conversations before we began recording, you've got a whole lot of other projects. Why don't you tell us, and again, I'm hoping people will be listening to this for years to come, but And these may all have come to fruition and be rocking and rolling by the time this is heard down the road. But tell us what else you got going on.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So we've been blessed. Our restaurant group, Pig and Swig Hospitality, now has formed. And flagship restaurant is Tusk and Trotter. And we announced a couple of weeks ago that Tusk and Trotter will be opening up shop in North Little Rock in the Argenta Arts District. So we're really excited about that one. But coming on recently, we've got a brand new ice cream shop, Trash Creamery, that just opened up in Bentonville. We just closed down Butcher and Pint temporarily to move them to a new location. We've got 3 locations that we're about to finalize on right now. That's potential. And we've got Gustro. It's a Gustro Pub, as the term. It's called the Berg Gustro Pub. It's going to be German-inspired food that's going to go into the Bentonville Brewing Company's new facility in Bentonville. So that's slated for November. And then we also have a pizza food truck, Mr. Hand's Pizza, Righteous Slices for All, that is going to start its soft opening at the old Ice House building in downtown Bentonville in the Market District. So
all right. Well,
we're staying busy.
Yeah, I want to talk more about the North Little Rock location in just a few minutes, but let's take a little break on Heaping Spoonful, and we'll be right back in just a minute with Rob Nelson.
I hope you're enjoying this episode of Heaping Spoonful. We at Benny Keith Foods enjoy talking about the food scene almost as much as we enjoy providing the top quality ingredients that help restaurateurs and chefs across the Mid-South create their magic. Now let's dive even deeper into the culinary world with your host, Kelly Bass.
All right, welcome back to Heaping Spoonful. This is your host, Kelly Bass. I'm with Rob Nelson. I would say of Tusk and Trotter, but that's selling him short. He's got of the Pig and Swig culinary group that's got all kinds of things going on. If you've been listening, you've been hearing. I do want to say that we talked earlier about you seeing what was happening in the Bentonville Square and knowing that 2011 was a ripe time to open Tusk and Trotter, and then the whole place has grown up around you. I can promise you, my friend, what you're about to get into in North Little Rock is maybe not on the same scale, but it's going to be just the same thing. First Orion Building is where your home is going to be. That's going to be the anchor of that fabulous plaza that's open there. There are other great restaurants. Capeo was the trendsetter years ago. The Isaac brothers opened that spot up. It's going to be hot. And I'm going to tell you this, and again, I hope in years to come I'm proven right. You open up Tusk and Trotter in that building, you better get ready because it's going to be packed up every day, every meal. Because it's people want to go to the area, and you're a known entity, and that brand everybody loves in the Little Rock area, something that they've gone to in another town comes to town. Even if it's something like Cheddar's, they go crazy. So Tusk and Trotter is going to rock.
Well, I'm glad you said that. We're very excited to give Argenta Arts District a shot. And, North Little Rock has just embraced us with open arms, from the CVB to the new mayor there. Rusty Mathis and crew over at Benny Keith Foods is just there from the get-go. We did a party the other night that Benny Keith Foods helped us out with. It's just amazing. I mean, we look forward. We've got, the Foundation that's down there.
Yeah.
And so there's going to be a lot of potential collaborations for sure.
The Innovation Hub is there. There's new apartments. You got Verizon Arena.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's going to be hot. And I said the same thing to Chris Tanner when he was opening Samantha's, and he was all worried about it. I said, dude, you're going to be great. And he's been slammed every day, and you're going to be slammed every day. So good thing you got a good crew, because you can only be one place at once.
That's true.
Yeah. Well, I do know, again, beyond all the things you've gotten to do and studying in France and studying in Colorado, you've gotten to go to the James Beard House. Tell me for folks who don't know, everybody's heard of the James Beard Awards, but tell us about the James Beard House, how that came to be, and sort of what the experience was like.
Sure. So the James Beard Foundation is a nonprofit organization that has different impact programs, from zero food waste to also educational programs to send young students to culinary school. And where the James Beard House comes in, they showcase about 200 different chefs from across the world every year. And they come in, and the money that is raised goes to a local foundation of their choice, and also proceeds of that dinner goes to the Scholarship Foundation for the James Beard Foundation to help put people through school.
So you've gotten to do it 3 times?
I've performed at the Beard House 3 times. The first time was in 2013 with Chef Matt McClure and Chef Case DeGario in Bentonville. And we went up there and we unveiled High South Cuisine there that night. And then I got the opportunity to close the Beard House down in 2016 and do the New Year's Eve celebration there. And then this past year, February, It was the first zero food waste dinner. The hashtag Waste Not series was done, and it was me and hog farmer Tank Jackson out of Wadmalaw, South Carolina. When we did a hog roast, a snout the tail dinner there.
Well, that's got to be fun and flattering.
I'll tell you what. I mean, the foundation is something else, and it really helps us to kind of grow and how to also. I was an alumni of the James Beard Foundation's Chef's Policy and Change, and where we actually learn how to talk with government officials and civic-minded people that can actually help push the envelope or help get policy in front of the right people to try to change the issues of food activism.
That's fabulous, and I know that's a big theme with forward-thinking restaurateurs and chefs going on right now. So another thing that Google turned up for me, you were on Guy's Grocery Games?
Yes, I was.
Network? What is that? Is that Guy Fieri?
Yeah. So it was on. It aired last year, and had the opportunity. The Food Network approached us and just see if I would be interested in doing a contest like that, and it was a fun experience. I tell you what, Guy is a big ball of energy. I'll tell you what, and. But it was an experience that, I just wanted to see what it was like to do competition on a national level. And the Food Network seemed to like me. So we got a few more things coming down the pipeline. Cool. So y'all stay tuned with Food Network and see what's coming up with that. Yeah. But it's just been a fun little ride, man. I mean, what can I say? I mean, it's just been a great 8 years so far with Tusk and Trotter and everything that's come with it.
Super cool. Well, I know when Guy came to Little Rock to do diners, drive-ins, and dives, it just blew up Bruno's and everybody's business, North Bar, and all the places that he went. Gio Bruno still tells me every time it re-airs, they sell more toasted ravioli and lasagna than they've ever sold before every time it's back on. So it's pretty cool. A couple of off-the-wall questions to ask you. You ever had any famous people eat at Tusk and Trotter?
Oh, yeah. I mean, with Walmart being in our backyard, we get a few celebrities there. Tom Cruise is probably one of the most famous that's come through. But actually, my favorite actor is that's eaten there many times, probably 4 or 5 times now, is Bruce Dern.
Oh,
and
cool.
He just loves our ribs, and every time he comes to town, he just comes in and makes sure to say hey and to get a full rack of ribs and sits there and just tears them up. So Bruce Dern would probably be my favorite one that's come through.
He seems about half crazy.
Oh my God! I mean, his movies. I mean, teaming up with Tarantino, you got to be a little off of that.
Well, listen, this has been a fabulous time talking with Rob Nelson. You got so much going on. I'm super excited for you, and I look forward to following your career as it keeps going forward. And I'm looking to see you on the Food Network on something that remains to be talked about sometime. So listen, thanks again for your time.
Kelly, thank you so much. And thank you to the Arkansas Times for having me on.
Yeah. All right, everybody. This is Kelly Bass on Heaping Spoonful. Stay tuned. Keep an eye on the website and look for more links to more episodes.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Heaping Spoonful. On behalf of all of us at Benny Keith Foods Mid-South Division, please know how much we love connecting you with the legends of the culinary scene and their unique stories. I look forward to the next time we can offer you another